Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today we have a new problem number 1043, longest common subsequence. Given two strings, text1 and text2, return the length of the longest common subsequence. If there is no common subsequence, we should return 0. A subsequence of a string is a new string generated from the original string with some characters. Can be none. Deleted without changing the relative order of the remaining characters. So, for example, ACE is a subsequence of A, B, C, D, E. A common subsequence of two strings is a subsequence that is common in both strings. So we have this one here, A, B, C, D, E, and ACE. We have three, which is ACE all. Here we have ABC and we have ABC as well, so 3. Here we have ABC and DF. There is no common subsequence, so we return 0. So the goal is to find the longest subsequence that appears in both strings in the same order, but not necessarily consecutively. For example, the string here, this string is A, B, C, D, E, and ACE. The longest common subsequence is ACE, and its length is 3. And the approach to solve this problem, it would be with dynamic programming. To solve this problem efficiently, we use a technique called dynamic programming. The idea is to break the problem into smaller problems or smaller subproblems. Solve each subproblem once and store the results. We then use the results to solve the larger problems. And step by step to do that, we will start to do it by first we create like an initialize a DB table, like we initialize a 2D array table called DB, where DBI of j will store the length of the LCS of the substrings that live on that position. So how we will do that? So first let's create the DB. Let me do some two variables because we will we'll use them too much. Let's make m is the text1 dot length, and let make n will be text2 dot length, and I will do that because we'll use text1 and text1 dot length and text2 dot length a lot. And the other thing is that it's easy to put or make a typo with the naming text1 and text2. So let's create a 2D table. I will call it DB, which will be an array. It will be from length will be m plus 1. Okay, and we will have a callback function to create another array. Will be, and this array will be have n plus 1, and we will fill it with 0. So right now we created our 2D array. So again, we initialize a DB table. We're creating a table here. So we will create a 2D array table called DB, where the DB I of j, what is DB I of j? So for example, this DB I of j will store the length of the longest common subsequence of the substrings. So for example, it will be something like that. The text1 0 from I minus 1 and text2 0 from j minus 1. And we will start to store each one at each position. After that, we fill the DB table. So we will iterate over each character in text1 and text2, okay, and fill the DB table based on the following rules. If the characters, which is the characters of text1, and the characters of text2 at the same position matches, then the db then the db I of j will equals the db basically we will increase it by 1, so we'll do that plus 1. If the db if they matches, that means we have a one common subsequence, so we increase the common subsequence by 1. If they don't match, then the db j of I will be equals whatever bigger between whatever bigger between the db I minus 1 of j and db I of j minus 1. And I would say it's quite complicated to understand the indexes in the 2D arrays, but just to keep focus, and we'll try to make it one by one so it will be easier for you guys to understand. So how we will do that, because this where it gets quite complicated here. So we create a loop, we loop twice. First we loop let I equals 1, okay, and I would be less than or equal m, and I will be plus plus, okay, m, which is the length of text1. And I will make another loop. I will say for j, which will always equals 1, and j will be less than or equals n, and j will be plus plus, okay. I would say, okay, so we want to have two conditions. If the characters matches, like what should we do? Like we have the two characters, for example, here we have the A and the A. Here these two characters matches. If we are looping, we have the first character at text1 and first character at text2. They are matches each other. What should we do? So first, let's say if text1 of I minus 1, because we're going to start from the beginning, okay, equals text2 of I of j, I guess, of j minus 1. If that was a case, we should increase the number of the table, the character message. We should extend the LC by 1. So basically, the longest common subsequence, we will increase it by 1, and we will put it in a table, and we'll try to update it one by one. So we will do the db I of j. The db in this specific one will be increased by 1. How we do that? We will do it by this one. The db at it will be equals the db of at the current position. It will equals whatever we have in the previous location plus 1. If they don't match, we make sure that we have like, if the characters don't match, we should take the maximum LCS length, or the maximum longest common subsequence. So we will see here which is longer, the dbi the one at I minus 1 or the one at I j minus 1, which one is quite longer. After that, we return the last element. Okay, let's make it like that. We return the last element. So again, let's just focus on this one here. Here we iterate through each character. Text1, which is from M, and text2. Okay. If the character of text1 equals the character of text2, if they are matches, we extend the longest common subsequence by 1. And we extend it by basically take whatever is in the previous and add 1 to it. If they don't match, we take the maximum longest common subsequence length from either excluding the current characters of text1 or text2. And this is what we do. And after that, we return the final value, which is dbmn. Gives the length of the longest common subsequence for the longest common subsequence for the entire string, text1 and text2. Let's submit the code and see how we are behaving. And we have a problem. Why? Unexpected token. Why? Wait a minute. What is the problem here? Plus. Wait a minute. I equals 1. I equals might that be the problem? Let's submit here. What was the problem? Let me see. Unexpected token. I guess this can't be. Okay. I know the problem. I guess this is right. Yeah, it's working. And I'm beating 60%, 66%. We're taking 100 a millisecond, and the one is doing it is 66 seconds. So there's 40 milliseconds in between. It's not that much of milliseconds time is in between. So yeah, that's it for this solution. I hope you like my content. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss a video, and see you in the future.